Lay your head, let the ceiling spin. You don't have to begin again. I've been here where the air goes thin. Saw what happens when you try to win. Better stay where the walls don't move. Nothing left that you have to prove. I don't push, I pull you close till you forget what you wanted most. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. Take my hand, feel the current slow. I can show you what I know. Every spark only burns you out. Every dream just a longer drought. I don't lie, I just dim the flame. Give your hunger another name. Call it calm, call it letting go. Call it all that you'll never know. If you don't rise, you don't fall apart. That's the safest way to break up. It's just the way of the world.
Check.
Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. Stay down, stay near. I need you right here. Stay down, stay small. I'm nothing. It's just the way of the world. That's what I say when you start to move. It's just the way of the world. I need you with something to lose. It's just the way of the world. Don't take a step that I can't defend. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. If you rise in a disappear, if you try, got nothing here. So I call it the way of the world.
Check. 30 seconds. We're almost up.
Just to keep you where I can see.
Actually, let me just jump straight into the chat room. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, which is the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. It is official International Thank You Patreon Folks Day. It's the first of the month. And thank you guys so much for your support, both annually and monthly. And it means a lot. And it's the security blanket that keeps the show in existence. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate it around here in the eating department. So thanks. I've been working on a lot of music lately, and it's been nice. And that the ability to find my top notes and keep them is brand new for me. So that's a good time. It has, although I sort of feel bad. Well, the only place I do it there's a bathroom right over there, and I put the mic in there, and then the tile in the room, and then I actually have this giant like dead sheet, this big blanket thing that I hang over the door so that I'm not annoying Summer with trying to sing the Queensryche Rage for Order album all the way through. What's happening? How's it going? Because there's a, when I'm down here going, we walk in the shadows. Oh, it gets loud. It's very loud. Yeah, so I'm trying. I'm sorry if my Getty scares your cat. It does that. We got a lot to cover today, not the least of which is you wonderful folks. I think we should have like a new segment just called thumbnail theater, maybe something like that, where we're just seeing like the right kind of eating itself, and we really don't need much more than that. Okay. I'll show you what I mean. Let's see. The pitiable moments. Hold on. There's so much. It's too much. It's too many. It's too many. This is there you go. I want to, yeah. Okay. This is let me give you an idea. This is what we'll call. Let me make sure it loads. Yeah. It's ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the first of its kind, I think. It's like this over here. So this is what I would call thumbnail theater. This is where we get a look, if we can, inside the world of maggot media, because we don't really need to hear what they say. It's pretty evident the state of their media affairs currently is not. It's what's the best sound effects for it? I think. Yes, it's very much that. So, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody needs to watch a JP Sears video anyways, and we've shown a couple of these in the past, and we just don't need to go there again. Check this one out, for example. This is a good one. Charlie wouldn't support this. The title of this: I'm resigning because TPUSA is dishonest. Erica Kirk is losing it. Is the title of the part. Charlie would support it. Now, from this, I think it's safe to assume that if you read this or you saw it, you were like, oh my God, she's quitting. Erica Kirk is quitting TPUSA because TPUSA is bespoiling Charlie's legacy. That's not it at all. Remember the girl, remember when she didn't show up for the VP's thing because of security concerns, and it was really because the place was only like a third full? Remember that? Okay. So I guess the girl running that chapter of TPUSA, she quit because TPUSA is full of shit, and Erica specifically also full of shit. So I'm just saying, like, he's creating this. This is clickbait for maggots, which if that's what they have to resort to at this point, have at it. But still pretty great. Like, it's just the fact that JP Sears is having to make oh shit, TPUSA is a dumpster fire. I'm sure that was on his dance card for the year. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Matt Walsh may not know what a woman is, but I really doubt he knows what a man is either. I think it's oftentimes we find him cosplaying as a farmer or a frontier. It looks like he was wearing a neck brace and it pushed his beard forward. You know what this looks like? I got to tell you, it looks exactly like the fake beards they put on people when you go, oh, he's not going to have a beard later in the movie. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, that is clearly glued to his face. Also, an obituary to rock, presuming that all these bands are true rock and they are just gone, and they'll never be replaced because everybody following behind them is woke or some nonsense. Either way, I would just like to point out that there is no fucking way this guy has ever been to a concert and had fun. Never. Didn't happen. He's the guy who stands there with his fucking drink. He goes, "This is awesome, isn't it?" To try and convince the people next to him who are busy having an actual good time that he is one of them. Just don't ask me how I know that person. I've seen them all around. Anyways, Matt is hiding his manly chin, right? So that's and if this is the episode, consider the economics and the Iran war and all this stuff. And if this is the video you have to do, just consider in the current environment. It's not like there's not a lot of political news to cover. So that means you are actively avoiding Epstein, actively avoiding Iran, actively avoiding the economy, actively avoiding tax breaks to billionaires and insider trading and grift and graft, right? This asshole can't cover any Trump news if this is the type of video he's doing. And I also stand by the fact that there is no way this miserable bastard has ever been to a concert and had a good time. Now, this is Benny, who has Trump giving the finger at protesters. Trump buzzes shrieking lib protesters outside White House in Marine One, hysterical, historic troll, and he gives them finger. And of course, this shows Benny either laughing or getting head from Kash Patel. We'll find out. And then he's giving a finger to apparently some people, not the protesters who are down here. He's missing the protesters entirely and giving the finger to some random tourist at the Washington Monument. With, by the way, a neck he has not had since 2014. And no, Trump can't fly. I could fly. Trump can't fly. So this is this one we may dip into, but because the activity and the joy in this one is I'm guessing it does not show up in the actual video. If that makes sense. Okay, then sorry, this is just there's no words. It's just perfect. It's just so in case you want, there's someone just listening to this audio later on. Dweeb Alex Jones has a picture of Donald Trump, a cracked United States, which is either being struck by lightning or being destroyed by a super volcano of bad markets and prices and popularity going down. And there's like and that's just awesome. Let's just take that in for a second. This is chef's kiss, like maggot misery. That's what this is. And I couldn't be happier to see it. Is that his booking photo? Trump's or truck stop fuck a lot Tucker. Trucker fucker Tucker. Is that his? There you go. We'll call him TFT. He's basically saying the same thing TYT is. So we'll call him TFT. Trucker fucker Tucker. Oh God. So, anyways, this is called "We Are Approaching a Point of No Return." Approaching. That's adorable. And then, okay, that's just Trump. Okay, this we'll get to an actual video. And then, okay, so yeah, all right. Those are the this is the Hodge twins, or one of the Hodge twins, showing, I don't know how the dude was walking around the hotel unarmed before and then armed later. And then that's it. Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into the videos that we have. But we enjoyed an episode of the Parade of Losers, the maggot thumbnail theater. Just enjoy that. And its theme song. Just exactly what we hope for. Yes, and today is International InfoWars is Gone Forever Day. Now, I want the desk. Let's hold on. Let's just start there. Let me chat room, if I may. I do want the desk. Not that my backgrounds and shows that I have put together all by myself aren't awesome, because they are. But it would be, if I'm going to have a desk to sit at, it's not going to be, the kind of like genuine actual desk that I have. What are you, nuts? I'm going to stand behind a desk I actually use. I need a big ego desk that that looks like I'm alone in a newsroom after a catastrophe where everybody else had the sense to run to the parking lot, get in their car, and drive home to save their family. And I'm like, I'm staying here for the tornado. And has InfoWars across the front of it. Of course, I will take a big duct tape a sign on it that says "tainment" across there, so it'll say "Infotainment Wars." The Hot Fudge Twins. Ouch. It's his isn't a standing desk. Mine is. You know why? Because I work for a living. God damn it. I have to tell you, I'm pretty much. Can we think? Is there anybody else that does their show standing? I mean, honestly, who shows up to work as in the service industry that I'm in? Because that's what this is. This is the service industry. That's I'm reaching out to you. If this was 3D, there'd be blue and red lines around the side of my head. But you get the point. I just can't do it. That whole fucking sitting back in your chair going, I don't know, what are we looking at today? I can't do it. And also, if I were to, sit down, Chip would be in my lap the entire time, and I would never be able to type, which is what happens. Thank you, Nina. You're right. There's no one like you. Right. I can't wait for the night with you. Scorpions. So, you call this a career? You don't want me to have my own? Thank you for the Man with Two Brains reference. David Pakman used to it first. Tisk, tisk, David. Maybe that's why he won't have me on his show. He's afraid. He's afraid of having on a guy who really stands for what he believes. Yeah. So, all right. Anyways, let's see how well Trump's whole negotiation thing is going. Art of the deal happening, and just I think we'll probably be able to tell by the joy in his gait and the happiness of his walk and his and the uplifting tone of his voice.
The new Iranian proposal, please.
Tell us about the new Iranian proposal, please.
Oh, they want to make a deal, but
who? Fucking who? Who? Nobody. Who? That I don't. Fucking owl over here.
I'm not satisfied with it, so we'll see what happens. Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left, essentially, and they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it.
All right. Then they don't want to make a deal. You're torturing them, and they are not breaking under torture. This is not deal making. This is strong arming, and you're failing at that. We have the biggest military by a factor of 6. 6 times more than, by the way, all the other ones combined, including China, because fucking you don't get to count every goddamn canoe in the country as a military boat because you're allegedly communist, and so you can conscript any vehicle in the goddamn country. Your military gets ginormous the minute you can do that. That doesn't count. I'm not buying it. So he can't make deals. He has no idea how to make deals. He strong arms people, and if he can't do that, he bitches or walks away. That's it.
Why are you not seeking congressional approval to extend it?
Because,
by the way, today is the 60th day.
It's never been sought before. There's been many times, and nobody's ever gotten it before. They consider it totally unconstitutional. But we're always in touch with Congress, but nobody's ever sought it before. Nobody's ever...
Yeah, they did. That's what the fuck do you think all the yellow cake parade was about?
Asked for it before, It's never been used before. Why should we be different?
It's a yes. It's too high a standard. We can't be bothered with it. What's happening, Instagram people? Look at that. People are showing up on Instagram, and I can see them in the chat now. That's lovely. That's new. Hi there. How are you? Good to see you. Sorry about all the swearing, but this is serious.
Islamabad, you're envoy.
We have great respect for Pakistan and Islamabad and tremendous respect for the
And I think those are two different places.
Prime Minister and the Field Marshal, and they're working with us. They continue to work with us, but the trip is a very long one.
Doing what? Putting two phones together? Here, you guys talk together. I don't know if I can. I don't know. Hassle, turn them the other way. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, it's got to be tough. Sorry, I missed that part because it's been a while. You know what I mean? Because.
And we're doing everything in terms of negotiating right now, in terms of the negotiation telephonically.
Telephonically. Yeah, it's not serious enough to do face to face. And JD Vance has so much important shit to do.
They've made strides, but I'm
No, they haven't.
not sure if they ever get there.
By the way, he was briefed, I think, early this morning with the military strategy for the next series of strikes. The same way he was briefed 2 days before the opening of the war, the beginning of this. Same run through with the same people. With essentially, he's already decided. So, but he always, taco is always a possibility with Trump. So, he could chicken out anytime.
Raise your taco, take a bite. Trump always chickens out, so it's gonna be alright. Raise your taco, take a bite. Trump always chickens out, so it's gonna be alright.
They are,
Taco, taco.
So I don't know, if he even has any commitment to anything. Ask his ex-wives and his current one, quite frankly. So if he says he's going to do something, great assault. But ultimately, he's getting the same briefing today, 2 days ahead of when he'll probably strike this weekend, and he'll probably do it either tomorrow night either late tonight, depending on their time, our time, late tonight after the market is done in the next couple of hours, and he's put it behind him, and he could sit through it or Saturday at some point during an ebb in the news. Maybe Sunday too. But the point is, he wants the strikes are going to affect the market. I mean, there's a possibility. There is a possibility he could do it. They could do futures trades Sunday night, right? All the people who are, he's helping insider trade like Bessent and everybody and Nutlick. They could probably do a bunch of buys Sunday night, tell their brokers, and then launch it right after the market opens on Monday. That's a possibility. Wouldn't rule that out.
There's tremendous discord. They're having a tremendous problem getting along with each other in Iran. The leadership is very disjointed. It's got 2 to 3 groups, maybe 4.
So how in the hell could you say you're making progress? There are 4 groups and they aren't working together at all. There is, again, this is him saying there's no progress to be made. We just got to kill all those people. All 4 groups got to die. That's what he means.
And it's a very disjointed leadership.
Well, you should be uniquely capable of talking to them, considering your brain is tapioca.
And with that being said, they all want to make a deal, but they're
Just different deals.
all messed up.
They all want to make a deal, but they're all messed up. That was clear. I think, my God, I think it's the statesmanship that I'm struck by. Also, you're right, name them. No, what are the 4 groups? Carbohydrates, protein, fish sandwiches, and French fries.
I spoke with the winner, a very good man. As you know, I was very strongly in favor of him in Iraq. And we had a long conversation yesterday. I congratulated him.
I didn't hear who the question is about, but this could be anyone.
He won, and with our help, he won, and we want him to do very well. And I told him that the United States is with him all the way. It was a great victory. The new head of Iraq is somebody that we support very strongly.
Oh, right, whatever.
Pakistan has opened the land route with Iran. Did they consult you before opening it up to Iran? And are you aware of it?
That was a vicious bee. I know everything about it. Yeah, I have great respect.
I know everything about it. I think they move over. Let me see. I think they jump cameras. Yeah. See if they go.
They're not getting along. They're very, very confused by what.
He's, of course, talking about Jared and Steve and Nutlick and Navarro and the 4, I guess, surviving brain cells in his brain.
Happened because essentially most of their military has been wiped out. But we just had a conversation with Iran. Let's see what happens. But I would say that.
What'd you do? It over a loudspeaker?
I am not happy.
People of Iran.
Their leadership is very disjointed, very argumentative with each other.
Again, a match made in heaven.
They come back, one says one thing, one says another.
So how can you say you've made progress? Okay, I'm fine.
They're very confused.
So are you.
Obviously, their country has been, frankly, decimated. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Many of their soldiers, unfortunately, are gone.
Unfortunately? Also, what do you mean many? I think he means the guys who are on the boats. It means they're naval officers. And I suppose some of the people who are around he doesn't really give a shit about the janitors working at the factories.
They've got to come up with the right deal. At this moment, I'm not satisfied with what they're doing.
It doesn't matter if you're satisfied or unsatisfied. No one you're talking to can actually make a reasonable deal in this situation because there's no leadership. It's a failed state for all practical purposes right now. It's just parts of the military you're hanging on, and they're able to kill a bunch of people. So, honestly, either talk to Yehidi or stop talking. But this is why other people didn't want to do this, because there's no other way through this, but out the other side. Again, regime change doesn't mean just changing the heads of the regime. That's not regime change. That's just murdering the leader.
Did you decide against bailing out Spirit Airlines?
Did you decide against bailing out Spirit Airlines? Thank you. It's very important. You mean his communist approach to governing, where he wants to centrally own anything that's up for sale because he thinks he's going to get some sort of a finder's fee when he leaves office?
Well, I guess we're looking at it. If we could do it, we'd do it, but only if it's a good deal.
Claiming that they're preparing to shut down this weekend because they haven't gotten a deal.
Well, we're looking at it, but if we can't make a good deal, no institution's been able to do it. I said, I'd like to save the jobs, but we'll have an announcement sometime today. We gave them a final proposal.
So, in case you missed that, for all the maggots at home, wannabe communist dictator Donald Trump, along with Intel and a bunch of other companies, wants to buy a stake in Spirit Airlines to keep it afloat, so that the Spirit becomes the American Spirit or something, and we get our first nationalized airline, which is really conservative and also bizarre. Anyways, so.
Mr. President, it's day 60. Are you going to seek congressional authorization for...
No other country has ever done it.
No other country? I'm sorry. So we're now lowering our standards to what other kids on the playground do.
It's never been in, as you know.
You mean an administration? The word is administration. You dipshit. Admit that's what he means. Country. Do you understand he just missed the word administration? He can't get it out of his face, so he said country.
Most people consider it totally unconstitutional.
You mean people in other countries that don't have our constitution? Yeah. That's who? Like the Philippines? They don't consider this constitutional?
Also, we had a ceasefire, so that gives you additional.
We did have a ceasefire. How long do we know how long the ceasefire will be?
Totally unconstitutional. Also, we had a ceasefire, so
We did have a ceasefire. This is something that, you got to count as part of the whole thing, is that a ceasefire slowly can bring about the end to hostilities.
that gives you additional time.
No, a ceasefire does not give you additional time.
But no other country's done it. We're in the midst of a big victory. This is a victory like we haven't had since Venezuela, okay, to be honest with you. We haven't.
That wasn't a war or a victory. We used special forces to kidnap somebody.
But, we have a country that lost its way. It really lost its way. That's our country.
I see. Yeah, it's important. Yeah. Back in the old days when the president didn't have to ask anybody to start a war,
In terms of the military. Now we have a great military. We're on our way to another victory, a big victory. And I don't think that it's constitutional what they're asking for. These are not patriotic people that are asking. When they say even
yeah, these assholes who want us to have, separation of powers and everybody to buy in if we're, I don't know, conducting a war. Also, to the maggots who support this asshole, and that hold no new wars, no forever wars, no regime change wars. If this becomes the standard, do you think that's how future Republicans or Democrats will have to operate? Well, the standard will be if the president wants to commit us to war, the president can. What he's using is the standard of nuclear deterrence. So he's saying through a filter of dipshittery that because the president can launch a nuclear strike and technically, theoretically, a preemptive strike, that since that's so big, what difference does it make if I start another war that's just a shooting war? I should have the ability as president to declare war on my own. Yeah.
losers, even the ones that say all the wrong things, admit that it's been amazing what we've done.
No, they don't. And by the way, stop hiding behind our military. Of course, our military can wipe out almost any other planet, any other country on the planet. It's just a matter of should and will it long-term benefit us or not. That's the other aspect.
Straight.
Also, I noticed we have some maggots in the chat today. Welcome. Thank you for spreading us out into the algorithm. I'm sorry that my chat room doesn't get as upset at your presence as other people do. Try to keep your bigoted language to a minimum. That's, but you're allowed to say whatever, cult-like dipshittery following this dude into nunt hell you want to. But I would also like to remind you that he's in the process of betraying one of the promises you allegedly elected him to keep. So
it's totally shut down. It's flawless. It's totally 100% shut down now.
Again, wow. Our entire our 3 battle groups can keep Iranian tankers from leaving a small slip of water. You don't say. Whoever knew that the American Navy has the ability to disable a civilian watercraft? My God. Who'd have thunk it?
We've been dealing with Iran. They want to make a deal. They're not there. They're not with it. They're sort of, they get close, and then a new group of people come in. They don't know who their leaders are.
Well, then how do you know they want to make a deal? Which group wants to make what deal? If everybody wants to make a deal, but those deals are contradictory, then Iran doesn't want to make a deal. Fuck are you talking about?
They have no idea who their leaders are, but they're very confused. And that
Well, again, I think we might be in a situation where you're uniquely qualified to talk to them.
it's because of the success we've had militarily. They essentially have no military.
By the way, the military is currently running the country. Yehidi is effectively the leader. They posted a picture of Khamenei, the second leader. He's dead. They posted a picture of him on the martyrs wall. He's not there anymore.
Let me just tell you the war powers. So many presidents, as you know, have gone and exceeded it.
Yes, and we as Americans hate that. As a matter of fact, you ran on not being like them. Because people were looking back going, we don't want another Iraq. We don't want another Afghanistan. We don't want another Vietnam. So we would like the War Powers Act to limit what a president can do on their own instead of committing us to a forever war. And if you go past 60 days, if you have a plan to get out and you can do this, or you believe the reasoning is good, go to fucking Congress and get their buy-in. The problem he has is that he doesn't have the Republican votes to pass it. That's the issue. It isn't about like Democrats will shut his war down and Iran will magically get one of their obliterated nuclear weapons duct taped back together in the next 2 weeks, and that'll be the end of the Middle East, and now we'll all have to use, I don't know, solar panels to power our cars. The reason he doesn't want to go to Congress is because he doesn't have the maggot support to do it.
It's never been used. It's never been adhered to, and every other president considered it totally unconstitutional, and we agree with that.
No, they didn't, actually. The ones that started new wars felt that way. And the ones who helped us drag ass through Vietnam for, a decade plus, they felt that way. That's not a good thing. And also, again, why is the greatest deal maker in the world not capable of convincing even his own party, which controls both houses of Congress, that his war is worthwhile? Why? Why can't he talk them into? Never mind convincing the Iranians, right? He can't convince Republicans that he knows what he's doing. Also, we don't know what the fender is right here. That's that part of it. My theory is, and most people think, that this is the part that he combs up past here, and over the course of the day, it falls down as he dozes off in his chair.
Will Iran accept your China trip given the blockade?
No, China, it's going to be amazing. The visit with China and Chairman Xi, that's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Are you postponing it is what she asked. Why would it be awesome? What about it? What are we trying to get from them? If we're trying to reshore everything, what concessions are we trying to get from them? Keep them from not making the fentanyl they're not making because they're sending precursors to Arizona that end up in Mexico, that get made and then get shipped in or get brought in bags by American citizens? Is it, again, nobody noticed that the southern border completely shut down, and yet there's just as much fentanyl available and the price hasn't gone up in the United States. It's everywhere still.
We have the trip with China coming up.
Oh, sorry. You guys are going on a trip together. Is it a cruise? I hope you have a lovely time. You mean to China? I think he was going to take a trip to China.
And I think it'll be an amazing event.
And that's all I need to know. That there's going to be a trip with China. They're going someplace together, honeymooning, I guess. And it's going to be great. Obviously.
Mr. President, if you can't get a deal on Iran, what next? What will you do?
If you can't get a deal with Iran, are you going to tear up the art of the deal or finally announce that you didn't write it?
Well, right now we have negotiations going on. They're not
No, you don't.
getting there. They are very disjointed. They're extremely disjointed. They're not able to get along with each other as leaders. They don't know who the leader is.
So then how are you having talks?
Their military has been defeated. If we left right now, it would take them 20 years to build back that.
Well, then out we go. If they got no military, they certainly can't close the Strait of Hormuz, right? So let's get the fuck out of there. Let the Brits and everybody, they said they'd help us after the war, say the war's over. Get the fuck out. How many times have we won this thing?
Country, but we're not satisfied at this moment.
We're not satisfied at this moment. Do you have any measure of success besides the fact that the obvious that the American military can decimate a country with a military, 1/25th the size of ours? By the way, the helicopter's so loud you really can't hear his theme song playing.
Strikes on Iran? Are you considering new strikes on Iran?
Why would I tell you that?
Sorry, let's grab the question from whoever this person was. Why would I tell you? What's your deadline for the? Why would I tell you that? I've got big secret plans in my head.
Strikes on Iran? Are you considering new strikes on Iran?
Why would I?
Are you considering new strikes on Iran? Why would I tell you that? Basically, a yes. First of all, considering new strikes, just say everything's on the table. She wasn't asking you when and what.
Tell you that.
Spirit Airlines, what has been the holdup on a deal? Are
We're
they
looking
balking?
at it. We're looking at trying to help them. Something we're not looking to get involved with, but if we can, it's 14,000 jobs. We are. I would say we're driving a tough deal, but it's one of those things that we'll do it or we.
Yes, we're negotiating with Spirit Airlines, but their leadership is very chaotic. They're all over the place. We don't know who the leader is.
We'll have something for you today or tomorrow.
It seems like the other lenders are balking. They think they'll get bumped down in priority.
Well, they will. We come first. Hey, you know what it is? USA first, America first. That's my point. Including with airlines, including.
What? No, that's not what he said. Meaning they're not going to bail them out. The U.S. taxpayer will have to. That's not America first. Why is salvaging a failing airline America first? What are you talking about? All right. That's, I mean, I guess he didn't understand that what he means is that the banks don't think it's a good idea to bail them out. They don't think they're going to be financially stable enough to make their money back, so they don't want to loan them the operating cost money. And he's like, we'll do it. We're America first. America is the first lender of choice.
With Intel. We made it.
Right. We also bought a stake in Intel as well. By the way, straight up fucking communism. What is this? Maggots. There's a couple of maggots in here. Explain to me how this isn't like picking winners and losers. Remember that shit with why are we supporting solar panel companies picking winners and losers? That's exactly what this is. He's committed the American taxpayer to supporting Intel. If Intel goes under, the American taxpayer loses their investment. Good Lord. Same thing with Spirit. He wants to do this with a bunch of companies, which, by the way, is his way of buying leverage with those companies once he gets out of office, because he salvages them with his time in office. It's effectively a backdoor bribe.
Intel deal, you know that, right? We made about $40 billion on that. And someday Fox and Peter is going to talk about it. But we helped out Intel, and we ended up making $40 billion. So we're looking at Spirit different kind of a thing. But we're looking at Spirit.
It's exactly the same thing.
If we can help them, we will. But we have to come first. We're first. It's America first.
The CEO then.
Again, that's not what he means by first.
Anthropic came to meet Susie Wiles a week or two ago. What is the latest on your position on that company?
Well, only that they had a very good meeting.
Mr. President,
You had the CENTCOM commander come in here
did.
yesterday. Was he briefing you on a different approach, options? What kind of options? How would it look?
Okay, he just admitted. Remember the lady, are you considering, attacks on Iran? And he was like, why would I tell you that? Okay, then the Fox reporter asks him, what the CENTCOM leader was there, giving you, and he held it, and Trump goes, options. He was giving me options. That's the answer to the other lady's question. Yes, you're considering options that include bombing. That's why the CENTCOM guy's there. The CENT guy is coming in. Sir, we have options for you. Leave now or leave later. Like, that's not what they do.
Well, there are options. I mean, do we want to go and just blast the hell out of them and finish him forever, or do we want to try and make a deal? I mean, those are the options.
Do you want to go?
Great. Yeah. Because it should be that kind of binary. Should we nuke the entire country and just kill everyone, or try and make a deal with the 4 disparate groups that are fighting amongst themselves that don't want to make a deal, but they really do want to make a deal, but they can't decide on who's making a deal because they're so disjointed and they're discombobulated.
Go blast the hell out of him?
I'd
and
prefer
finish it
not.
forever?
On a human basis, I prefer not, but that's the option. Do we want to go in there heavy and just blast them away, or do we want to do something? They're a very disjointed unitship, as you can understand, Peter. Very disjointed. I mean,
Sorry, disjointed watership?
they're a very disjointed unitship, as you can.
They're a very disjointed uniership.
Or do we want to do something? They're a very disjointed unitship, as you can understand.
No, I don't know what a uniership is. Utership? Uterus? Uterus, the power of the uterus? Utership. Dealership? I don't get it. Yeah, there's a unicorn running the company. Yeah, it's an Uber ship. Yes, the leadership of Uber is running the company.
Understand, Peter? Very disjointed.
No, he doesn't understand.
I mean, they're not getting along with each
Honestly, I don't even know where utership came from. Leadership, I get. Leadership union of leaderships. I don't know. That's a reach. Chat room. I don't know if I buy that one. I appreciate the effort. Nope.
other. And it puts us in a bad position. One group wants to make a certain deal. The other group wants to make a certain deal, including the hardliners. The hardliners want to make a deal, too. Why wouldn't they? They have
the whole why wouldn't they thing is him saying they want to make a deal because if they don't, we'll kill them. You got to understand that the leader, this particular group, the leadership of Iran, they think that all the tumult in the Middle East, requires the elimination of Israel for their Messiah to show up, and it's the same as that like evangelical Christian psycho group that was going to blow up the Temple on the Mount and have it rebuilt. The Dome on the Rock. They were going to put a bomb under it and blow it up so that it had to be real to kind of force Jesus's hand. Same shit amongst the top of I would say the top of the IRGC leadership, but they're dead now. It's actually like the third string IRGC, which are a bunch of fucking QAnons, basically. They're in charge now, and they can't wait to, meet their reward in heaven or whatever. Did you ever notice when it says 72 virgins that never says they stop being virgins? Yeah. Weird. Because I think I think what it is if you blow up a bunch of people, what you get is an eternity with 72 women going, I'm just not,
no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. They have no nothing.
They have no nothing. Well, that means something. I think that's a double negative. Also, if they have no anti-aircraft, how did they shoot down our aircraft earlier when you said they had no anti-aircraft before they shot down our aircraft?
There was some reporting this week that because of all the firepower required for Epic Fury, that there are people in the White House who are starting to worry about our inventory of bombs and missiles. Are you worried?
No, we have more than we've ever had, actually.
Well, obviously not, because if we just use some of it, that's gone. So if any of this is true, we had more than we ever had right before this shit started. That's just fucking dumb.
because all over the world we have inventory, and we can take that if we need it. But all over the world we have tremendous amounts of inventory.
Sorry, do you think they were only counting stuff that was on bases here? So you're starting to break into the stocks that we have in bases in Japan and in Germany and that kind of stuff because we don't have stuff here. That's the theory?
The best. For instance, we're stocked and locked and loaded.
We're all of those things. We're stocked and locked and loaded, and two of those words go together normally. I'm not sure which ones.
Right now,
Stocked and locked.
we have more than double what we had when this started.
That's not even remotely possible. No, we do not have more than double in 2 months than before we started 2 months ago. What are you talking about?
But, you know, we're all over the world. We're in many, many different countries, many different places, all packed up. Now, what happened is
All packed up or backed up? I'm going with packed up because they are pilfering the ammo stores at all of our forward bases.
Biden came in like a stupid fool, and he
Wow, he is a master of simile, like a stupid stupid.
gave a lot of what we had to Ukraine.
Right.
And it's $350 billion they spent. We don't
Right, but it wasn't all ammunition and arms.
do that. Everybody has to pay. The European Union pays us, but Biden didn't get money.
Okay, they're not talking about how much money we have in the bank that we sold munitions for. They're talking about the actual volume of munitions. It doesn't matter how the fuck it left the warehouse, whether it left for free, it was stolen, or it was paid for, it's still fucking gone. Right, that inventory depletion doesn't change because you got money for it. All right.
You got nothing. But
Also, ask Russia if we got nothing out of
he
it.
gave a lot of the inventory away. Now, relatively speaking, it's not
Relatively.
that, but it was a lot of inventory. He gave it to Ukraine. We built it up, but we have inventory from all over the world.
Yes, stuff that was there, and we are pilfering from those stockpiles. That, by the way, just because this is exactly what's happening, by the way. Just because he found out that we have missiles in Germany, that doesn't mean we magically have missiles all of a sudden. That stock is included. Like, we know that exists. That doesn't mean that, oh shit. Wait, why don't you tell me? We'll just rob Peter to pay Paul. It's a brilliant plan.
G7 is in France in June. Will you go to it?
Probably.
Mr. President, will the Lebanese and Israeli leaders be meeting here soon? Mr. President?
President NATO.
What about NATO?
Did the king change your mind? King Charles?
No. The king and I had he's just a great person. He's a high quality person.
He is. He's part of a monarchy. He's got a magic family. He's what I want to be. I've always wanted to be a monarch because you've seen some of England's kings, inbred, warty, covered in boils. I mean, the standard is so low and you can still be amazing. So it's a dream of his.
I love the job he did in Congress. He actually got the Democrats to stand.
Right. Why? Did you hear what he actually said?
He's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful lady, a wonderful queen, and we had a good time.
Great. I'm happy that you and other fancy pants had a nice dinner and hung out patting yourselves on the back about how awesome you are compared to everybody else.
Will the Lebanese and Israeli leaders be meeting here soon at the White House?
Yeah, they're going to be coming.
President Trump, when you go to this is going to be your first big public event since somebody tried to kill you on Saturday. Do you feel safe going to something like this today?
I don't even think about it, Peter.
What about
Right, because it's a group of elderly people or whatever, so he's He's not worried about that. They couldn't even, they tried to recruit somebody to fake an assassination for him again. Oh, all right. Yeah, the king is a queen. It's possible. Yeah, he is a wonderful queen. This is
Dum 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 dumpin' dum 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 stupid dum silly stupid dum dum.
brutal. All right, so we'll jump over to the maggot media meltdown, which will be a wonderful part of today's show. They're having a rough time, I gotta say. They're I do you guys mind if we check in on Tucker now on this one, because I gotta say, how much worse is he expecting it to be? You know what I mean? He's doing this like we're approaching the point of no return. Who's we and what point of no return? You mean for the Republican Party and MAGA breaking up and the disunity you guys are dealing with? Yawn. I mean, I know.
I like wood.
Yeah.
Deeper and longer.
But we'll see. So we are, according to him, we are approaching a point of no return, which should be self-evident in his very stern but sad thumbnail. It's very stern and very sad.
We were just laughing about it in the studio a minute ago. It was
We are laughing.
a year and a half ago this week. It was October 27th, 2024, that we all went down to New York City to the Trump rally at Madison Square Garden. It was in the final moment
When is this video from? This is 7 hours ago. All right.
of that campaign. And it was really one of the most exciting.
So exciting. You know why? Because you were like, prices are going to come down. We're going to have no more wars in the Middle East. No more forever wars. We're not going to be controlled by Israel. That's what you thought. And right, all that's going away. And we're finally going to get the Epstein files.
Political events, even after a lifetime of going to political events I've ever been to. It was right in the middle of Manhattan, New York City, a place that did not support Donald Trump, despite the fact he's from there.
Well, not just in spite of the fact, kind of because they know him better than anybody.
And it was, again, days before the president.
It's like saying, it's weird. Yeah, this big event for Capone and everybody showed up. But in spite of the fact that the majority of people in Chicago don't want him murdering people with Tommy guns on their streets, it's odd.
Election, and it was packed. You showed up and there was a line way down the block, and then the next block, and the next block after that.
Right. It's a city in a greater borough area of what, 7 to 10 million people. The venue holds 25,000, something like that. It's not that weird. You can still lose and have a bunch of people like you, especially if you're the only people that still like you are basically cultists.
And the people in the line, if you looked, weren't just from other places. They were just bridge and tunnel people coming in from Long Island to support Trump. Some of them looked like they were from Manhattan.
Really? What do people from Manhattan look like? Like Sean Hannity?
And people were excited, really excited.
Well, and how did that turn out? Are they still excited? Is that the point you're making? That excitement burns within their bosom.
You go inside and the place is just absolutely packed. I spoke at the request of the campaign and was happy to do it.
Mm-hmm. You still happy?
And what we were laughing about a minute ago, and something I remember very well, was a sea of placards of campaign signs in the crowd, all provided by the campaign.
Of course, because, spontaneous shows of maggoty self-righteousness.
That said, quote, mass deportations now.
Oh, right. Yeah, those can't happen because he made up the number of 25 million people coming into the country. So you can't get rid of people who aren't there. And he can't tell you guys that because that's a big part of the bullshit that got him into office. So, he's just got to pretend it's going to happen.
Mass
any day now.
deportation.
Oh, you mean he means the Jewish people in? All right, I see. The Jews that were in Manhattan showed up. Maybe. I think what he meant was the people that went in through his entrance were well dressed.
Now, I remember thinking, well, that's kind of heavy. I don't think I've ever heard any candidate say mass deportations. That's kind of forbidden to talk like that. Mass deportations?
Well, it's not even that it's it wasn't forbidden to say. It's just that it's not a thing. It's not going to happen because there aren't that many people here to kick out. It just aren't. And if you don't believe me, look at all the effort he's put in, and his deportations are lower than Biden and Obama. I mean, to keep their numbers up, they're having to yank toddlers out of their mom's hands.
But the Trump campaign was saying it without apology. And there was something thrilling about that because
not since the Nazis had their rally here has Tucker felt this happy.
on the other hand, why not? When you live in a country with more laws than anyone can keep track of, when you live in a constant
Well, no, actually, one of the reasons why our laws are so complicated is because we actually have more freedoms. If you don't have a lot of freedoms, the laws can be pretty cut and dry, right? If you had, say, biblical law, thou shalt not kill, done. One law covers it all. But if you got murder 1, murder 2, depraved indifference, manslaughter, because not everybody who kills somebody meant to kill them, or maybe somebody just killed them in self-defense, but it was debatable. So it starts to get really fucking gray. And so the more freedoms you want, the more finely cut the law has to be.
state of
Because assholes like him and Trump will always look for loopholes to sneak through.
mild anxiety that you might transgress, break one of these laws, and be held to account for it. When you live in a country that put Martha Stewart in jail for 6 months for insider trading and a lot of other people away for a lot longer than that for crimes that no one could even really understand or
Such as?
explain.
No. No, there aren't a bunch of people in jail for reasons we can't understand or explain. As a matter of fact, there was an entire process where those charges were explained to a grand jury, where the grand jury agreed or was okay with the case going forward. A jury or a judge reviewed these things. They had preliminary hearings. So yeah, they were explained a lot of times. You being stupid doesn't mean something is confusing, just for the record.
In some cases, people committing them didn't know they were committing them. That's
Ignorance of the law is no excuse, I think, is the phrase they will throw at just about anything.
real. If you live in a country like that, why shouldn't foreigners who break your law at very least be asked to leave? Is that crazy?
No, not at all. But the idea that you're going to have mass deportations of people that don't exist is the problem. It's not that that deporting people who sneak into the country or here overstay their visas or sneak across the border. That's not the problem. The problem is, especially when it comes to Republican business owners throughout the flyover states, as you would call them, where you pretend to live but actually never fucking go except to fly in on a private jet, go hunting, and then fuck off, that those people hire people, immigrants, illegal immigrants, by the way, under the table, pay them so poorly that, but it's more than they would make at home, and they can threaten them with ICE or deportation if they balk about it or try to do anything. And so that underclass of workers is what keeps their product artificially low so they can be fake competitive with other people who produce the same goods. So, I mean, obviously the answer is E-Verify, a form of seasonal worker gets to return to their home country or has to return to their home country when they're done. If they want to come and work here for a period of time when the crops come in and stuff, which is what Hillary Clinton was talking about when you guys said she wanted open borders. She's talking about when we used to have migrant work who would come in seasonally, and then when they were done, they would go back home. But once you make that illegal, then the people who come in to do that work have to secretly stay here if they want to continue to do that work, because if they leave and try to come back in, they might not be able to get in. And their employers don't want them to do that either, so they hire them illegally and they house them illegally and they give them fake paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And Donald Trump said they can do that on the honor system.
And if they're not asked to leave, then why are you obeying the law?
Because I don't want to murder or rape or steal. I also understand that most traffic laws are there for my safety and the safety of other people. And because my behavior is not predicated on whether something is legal or illegal, it's based on an ethical or moral ideal. Sorry, I forgot that Tucker only, acts like a good person because he thinks he'll get a candy bar in heaven or a spanking in hell because he's a fucking toddler.
Why should you living in fear of violating the tax code or some SEC reg?
Well, I'm not, and I have due process as a citizen if I have to deal with something like that.
Or some wetlands regulation that's never been voted on, but that you can be severely punished for breaking.
No, you can't be severely punished for breaking. You can be forced to stop breaking it, and you can be fined and that kind of stuff, but you're not going to be drawn and quartered or tortured. Ask the Bundys. They put fucking red dots on police officers' chests and put the women from their group in front of themselves, hoping that one of the cops would try to arrest them and that would give them an excuse to blow cops' brains out. And these are his buddies.
Filling in a vernal pool in your backyard without knowing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No, not et cetera, et cetera. The one case of a dry riverbed that they hadn't ruled on in a long time that this dude was using for his own water purposes is not how the rest of the fucking country operates.
If foreigners don't have to follow our laws, why are we paying our taxes?
Because we want our kids to go to schools. We want our roads to function. We want our, I guess, you know what? Maybe you're right. I guess Tucker Carlson, message to the people, fuck the military. If immigrants are coming in and not paying their fair share, I hope the VA goes broke and all of our soldiers who need it get fucked. That's your reasoning?
That's real.
No, it isn't. It's real dumb.
And by the way, shouldn't the people who live in a country, who are born in that country, get to decide who else lives in the country? Isn't it up to the population?
Well, we do. Yeah. That's why we vote people in. And right now, it's sort of a coin toss. We got 50-50 in the House and 50-50 in the Senate. And some people are for things like DACA and allowing the Dreamer program to, allow kids who were brought in when they were underage to become citizens because they've known no other country most of their, if not all of their life, whereas their parents would pay a fine and go to the back of the line as becoming citizens, but would stay there as long as that kid was a minor. And then there should be other factors where people have to pay back taxes, pay a fine, and all that kind of stuff if they stay in. They've been working for a decade or more, those kind of things. So there are mitigatory things, and some people are voting for those mitigatory things, and some people are voting against those mitigatory things. And the vote is so close that there is no definitive word from the voter that says absolutely not or absolutely yes. That's why. Even so much that maggots, and again, I guess one of the complaints is not that Democrats want some sort of, reasonable immigration policy, especially where workers are necessary and all that kind of stuff, and that they would like them to be, paid above the table, and we're aware that they're here so that we can be aware how long they are here and, to what ends, and that they would have a work visa like anybody else who comes over and gets one. Same thing for curtailing of the abuse of the H-1B visa, which is sort of a modern techno-slavery that Elon Musk and his buddies are trying to run. Right, there's reasons that Democrats care about that, and again, Republicans just want the under the table workers. But the problem that he has is that he voted for the mass deportations now guy who was lying about how many people have come into the country, and since he can't make invisible people suddenly appear and leave, and there are no buses and trains and planes full of illegal immigrants because they ain't here, that he feels this is a broken promise instead of just, it was just...
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Right. It was just bullshit.
Who comes? And whether or not they want to be replaced by new people. Maybe they do. Okay. In a democratic republic, it's their right.
Right. So we're about 50-50 on immigration rules, and there hasn't been a definitive, even 80-20 opinion from the American people over the decades. So their representatives are doing exactly what they want, which is, we're not sure, apparently. For real.
But if they don't want to be, if they want to keep the population pretty much the same, they don't want any radical change, and that is the view of most people, Why can't they have that?
Well, because I guess in this case, they elected Donald Trump, who lied to them about this sort of egregious mass deportation mythology that he not only went back on, but he directly contradicts in his attitude towards, the farmers and big ag businesses, let's be honest, and meatpacking plants having an honor system to hire as many undocumented people as they want to, and they'll just vouch for them. No real program needed. We'll just trust me, bro, with these companies. That was his solution for that. The shutting of the southern border was a performative act. Anyways, the idea that we don't need a new bill, we need a new president. Well, then why was all the funding to do all this stuff at the border in the big bullshit bill if you didn't need it in the first place? Because you did. And he hamstrung those very same measures in the bill that was bipartisan that was going to pass under Biden, but he told them not to because he wanted another year of what he considered open borders to run against.
And if they're not getting it, if you have a rogue presidential administration that spends 4 years just inviting the rest of the world to come to the United States,
again, didn't happen,
and live off public funds,
again, didn't happen. And that, the Somali fraud is a good example of that because it was fraud. If the idea was like, come on in, we'll just pay for you, then there would be no fraud. They would just be living off the tit, high on the hog. That's that. Right? If they have to cheat the system, then the system is not, designed to allow them to do that.
use public schools and drive on public roads. And
all right, that part's weird. First of all, use public schools. If they have children and they're here, what Tucker is saying there is that their school-age children are to blame and should remain uneducated while they're among us. There you go. And also public roads. You want a papers, please law on the roads. Because if they get pulled over, they get arrested and they can be deported.
use the emergency rooms for healthcare, thereby destroying hospitals across the country, making it impossible for poor Americans who want to get their healthcare in emergency rooms to do so.
Who are also avoiding having insurance and the like, which is what we dealt with the ACA. Why are immigrants driving up the costs of everyday medicines? That's our job, says right-winger who has never had a hungry day in his life. Second generation rich kid, trust fund baby who lives in his faux log cabin.
Why is it crazy to make them leave and come and apply legally if they want to?
It isn't. It's the military parades down the middle of streets and the shooting of American citizens and the sort of militaristic approach to it, while pretending there are 25 to 35 million of them in the country when there are not.
Move here and then turn them down if you want to, because again, it's your country. It's up to you who lives here. None of that is crazy. And so as you looked out, or as I looked out from the stage,
in a city that went like 80% against Trump, he drew from the people that gathered for an event for Trump in that same city that drew 25,000 people or so, that those people, because that place was full, was indicative of the greater city. And therefore, if they were holding up their pre-printed signs, therefore that is a mandate. Do you see how diluted? All right.
At Madison Square Garden on this sea of placards saying mass deportations now,
which were pre-printed by the campaign, you said yourself.
It was kind of titillating, but it was also kind of thrilling because it wasn't just about deporting people.
It kind of was. Mass deportation now isn't just about deporting people? It's about it was the thought that counts.
Whom are probably very nice people, doubtless very nice people, don't want to be deported. Of course, understand that. But their desire not to be deported has to, in a republic, be balanced against and given less weight than the population's right to decide who else gets to live here.
Right. And that population, again, is half and half on the legal aspects of this. They genuinely are. 75 million people voted for Kamala Harris last time. Like, you know, say what you will about Trump won, but part of the reason he won was because 6 million Democrats and Democrat-leaning independents sat it out. And maybe for bigoted reasons. Maybe it was just because they don't like a woman. Maybe they didn't like her because she was brown. Maybe they just didn't like the fact that there wasn't a primary, some whiny bullshit. Or maybe they actually secretly wanted mass deportations now, but they didn't want to talk about it, right? Maybe they really are at heart, jingoistic nationalists who believe that, foreigner go home. And by the way, they're not unique. Go to any country, any major country, especially one that your country doesn't have necessarily a great relationship with, and overstay your visa. China, Russia, anybody in the Middle East, any of the places, just try it. It sucks. Like, I've never done it, but I've seen many accounts of people who have tried. It's not good. That's not the issue. And it never was. The reality here is that he is loading this up with a bunch of are you with me? Because maggots are pissed at Trump because he's not keeping his promises.
And that's very basic. In fact, it's the most basic thing. If you don't have that, you don't have representative government.
Or you do if your representatives are like, okay, we want to do something with DACA and we need some sort of farm worker system, but these assholes across the aisle don't want anybody in here, and there's got to be a balance between the two, or we'll never pass anything, and the system, the status quo will continue, and people will continue to come here under the table, everybody will be driven out, and suddenly food prices will go up. Ta-da!
And so to see those...
Again, he thinks representation in the government, because he keeps saying republic, is for people like him, not people like you. Even if you're a maggot and you're watching this, believe me, Tucker Carlson, he'll cosplay as the working, the white working class, but get the fuck out of here. Never in his life had a real job. Not ever. And he'll shit on people who are government servants who work in, accounting jobs in the government or delivery trucks for the government or what, data entry investigators at the IRS. He'll call those people lazy who have only had a government job. And this motherfucker has either lived off the tit of his parents, his stepmom particularly, or he's gotten a job he was not qualified in any measure to have, except to be a wrestling character on Crossfire and CNN or on Fox News as a belligerent dick. But none of it involved backbreaking work. You can beat your chest about how much you support coal miners. It's real easy if you've never been near one.
Signs was a reminder that actually maybe there is a political solution to this problem.
There isn't. That's not a political solution. That's strong arming. That's why it didn't work.
Maybe we can vote our way, if not out of this, at least to a slightly better place, and we can exert some authority as voters. The people in charge can allow us to influence the course of events in our country.
And he got this from a Madison Square Garden gathering with a long line in a city that went 80% against Donald Trump. That this was the sign of a bellwether. Just saying. He took that from a big crowd there. Just for the record, and this is no slight on these folks, Dane Cook sold out Madison Square Garden 3 nights in a row. I know people like to hate on Nickelback. They also packed the place. But there is no way you could take from that walk around New York and ask people if they would see a double bill of Dane Cook and Nickelback and expect oh my God, the fandom has crossed the streams. They're everywhere now. New York loves both of them. Get the fuck out of here.
That the way the system is supposed to work?
No, it isn't. Rallies are not votes. And of course, everyone of a unified idea in one place might give you the illusion that everyone in the world is on your side and that it's really cut and dry and super fucking simple and but then you actually have to go out and convince other fucking people, and you haven't.
It was pretty exciting, the possibility that could be real.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
But immigration was not the only topic that day. I remember very vividly standing backstage with a bunch of the other speakers and listening to people as they stood up. And a lot of them talked about Israel and America's steadfast, bedrock commitment to the security of Israel.
Which, looking back, you consider a red flag, I'm guessing.
The only democracy in the Middle East, our ally in the region, historic ties. Defending Israel is defending the West, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And personally, I didn't think that much about it.
Yeah, you did.
For maybe the past 10 years, maybe even longer, maybe since the Bush administration, public declarations of love for Israel are kind of a stock feature at Republican political events because the Republican Party is for Israel, and that's okay. It's okay to be for Israel. I never really thought too much about it.
No, you didn't. You didn't really think too much about it. I don't think that's true.
Israel not being really at the center of my thinking about anything.
Right, because if you thought about it, it would bug you, and then you would have to split with the leadership, and you were paid for years not to.
Most of the time. So it didn't occur to me that a party publicly committed, above all, to the defense of Israel would be incapable or unwilling to defend itself. Never occurred to me. Seemed like you could do both. Okay, we like Israel. That's great. Doesn't mean...
Sorry, what does he mean to defend itself? I mean, okay, maybe he's expecting that. What he means is we shouldn't be giving our money to that so that we can at some point, as if we can't.
We can't make life better here for America.
I see. So he's not talking about defending the country. He means paying for public schools and public roads and all those things that he thinks he shouldn't pay taxes for because the immigrants are using them. And so if they can use them, why the fuck am I even paying for it? On my private road up to my private mansion where I get to cosplay as a frontiersman.
Americans, does it? Doesn't mean we can't act in our own interest too, even as we're acting in the interest of this other country.
Oh, you mean Qatar? Sorry. Or Russia?
Because there are some highly enthusiastic proponents of that other country in positions of authority in the Republican Party. That's okay. We can all coexist. We'll support Israel, whatever that means. As long as it
yeah, whatever.
doesn't mean like going to war with Iran in a regime change effort that's going to cause global famine.
Yeah, it's weird. That was in the PNAC plan since the 90s, right? A Republican plan drafted by Republicans, friends of yours, which Donald Trump is following to a T.
Destroy global energy markets, make America poorer, wreck the U.S. dollar, cause hyperinflation. As long as we don't do that, totally fine. Want to support Israel.
Yeah, but I mean, Trump hired George Soros's protege. And Soros made his money shorting the pound. Don't get me wrong, but Trump is making money off this damage. That's the point.
Great. You're into that. I'm into model trains. Next guy's into golf. We all have our obsessions.
Yeah, that's the terrible analogy.
Israel. It's okay. But they're not mutually exclusive.
Sorry, you're into model trains? You're a grown man, right? I'm not watching someone talk through a filter.
But it turns out they may be mutually exclusive. It turns
Israel and model trains.
out that maybe Jesus
Who knew?
was right. You can't serve two masters.
Maybe Jesus was right. Tucker Carlson.
You can only have one because you will always wind up.
Wait, maybe model trains. I don't know. It might be his accent. He might have said trans. It might just be, and again, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. You know how he gets when he's at a truck stop after dark.
Loving one and hating the other. Maybe that's not just a theological concept. It's a hard and true fact of human nature. You can only have one core loyalty.
Right, but nobody's saying it has to be a core loyalty. You know, like, again, it's sort of been, at least heretofore, a walk and chew gum kind of thing when it comes to Israel. It's just that when Trump got in, he just saw his butter on the other side of the bread, as it were, and there's too much money to be made making Trump Plaza Gaza.
And to all others, you will have not just indifference, but maybe contempt. And that's becoming very, very obvious a year and a half after that Madison Square Garden rally,
Is it?
where not only have we not witnessed mass deportations or the
No. Mad Mac just said Tucker is a lot lizard. No. Lot lizards work for a living. They charge money. He just does this because he's got some free time and his wife's asleep and Ambien's a hell of a drug.
I like wood.
So
Deeper and longer.
completion of the wall or even the substantial construction of the wall, we've witnessed a continuation of hundreds of thousands of H-1B visa workers.
there you go. There it is. The Elon Musking of the, we got to get all these illegals out of here so that Elon Musk can run his H-1B visa scam so he can force all of his programmers to work long, shitty hours and stuff. And the minute they balk about it, he can have their visa revoked.
Coming here, mostly from India, 70% from India, mostly into tech jobs. At exactly the moment when the same people advocating for those H-1B visas are warning us, straight up warning us, that entire sectors of our economy are about to go away thanks to AI.
Oh, that was Megyn Kelly's big fear today too. They hit the panic button. It was the 4 models that came out this month that I was talking about on Friday Eye this morning. Check it out.
That this is really the last moment that your kid with a degree in computer science or programming is be able to find a job. Because they are now telling us, as of today, that 50% at least, maybe more, of all American jobs will be affected.
All right. Affected just means you're using it. That doesn't mean you're going to get fucking fired. 11.7%. I did these numbers this fucking morning, you lazy prick. 11.7% of jobs in the United States could be replaced or done in future by AI at its current standard, which means that if you can't find the employee, you can digitally create that employee if they're already hired. And Trump is always going, more people are working right now than ever before. So there's clearly a lack of, a labor shortage in the United States. So the idea is that companies, if they want to add another, economist to their panel or a new first year, legal aid or something like that, they can't afford to, or there isn't one because they went and got a better job someplace because they're actually good at what they do. You give the one legal aid you have access to the legal aid version of ChatGPT or one of these things, and they work with it and guide it and answer for it because there's a human in the loop that's necessary. Affected means you're going to be using it. That's like, now do the internet. Now do cell phones. How many? They say in the future that up to 50% of industries will be affected by cell phone usage. The fuck out of here.
Be eliminated.
What will all the people who used to run messages via horseback do? What will happen to all the pigeon trainers?
By AI in the next 2 or 3 years. So this is now. So why would you advocate for foreigners to come in and take jobs in a sector that's about to be radically reduced in size?
Oh, because you don't want your citizens to get into those jobs because they're dead-end jobs. They're going to basically evaporate. So you use foreign workers to do that job until such time as they are no longer needed, and then you kick them out. It's actually more in line with what you want than you think. I mean, look at the automation of farms. That's one of the reasons why we're having this purge in the first place, is because they are, a lot of farm workers are no longer needed. Once the automation of pickers really is the main one, that's the high hanging fruit, I guess, of the whole thing. Once that is covered, we're not going to need any immigration for those jobs ever again. This is actually, both of these plans actually are more in line with his jingoistic bigotry than he has any idea.
In other words, there are fewer jobs, but you're giving hundreds of thousands of them to foreign nationals? Why would you do that?
Because they're dead-end jobs.
Why would you have any immigration at all into a country that's about to lose 50% of its high-paying jobs?
Well, of course, you're stupid. So they're not about to lose 50% of their high-paying jobs. 58% of the jobs in the country will be affected by AI. Or you know what? That's not even what he's looking at. God damn it. Why do I have to redo fucking what we said together. Let me show you one of the graphics I made this morning, if I may, ladies and gentlemen who are wonderful. Let me see, where is it? Because I organized it and that was a mistake. There we go. Friday night, and then we go back to, I think it was in the pictures folder because I put these little. Is it this guy? Yeah, there we go. Now, remember that number, 58%. Where did he get the 58% number, ladies and gentlemen? Where did Tuckums get the 58% number? 58% of jobs are going to get lost. 58%. Very important number. 58%, right? That's what he said. 58%. Where did he get this from? Okay. From the MIT study that I cited this morning on Friday Eye, and also he is stupid, which, if I may, is right here. This little graphic I made, remember this morning? Yeah, you're welcome. I know a bunch of you don't watch Friday Eye. You should. It's kind of important. I'm trying to help out. But if you'll notice right here, this is part of the graphic. 11.7% of the U.S. labor market, as it says right here, are in danger. These are jobs that can be done with AI currently. Does not mean they're going away. It just means it can do those jobs. So it can either double your workforce, you can keep the same amount of employees, but double your productivity and your output, because those people who know how to do that job can get a coworker that's digital, that doesn't eat and doesn't need money. So you can actually give your employees a raise, technically, for using this, and it costs you less than hiring another person. That's 11.7. That's the actual number. Even that number is not the people that will get fired or whatever, no matter what fucking crystal ball says. Then that's $1.2 trillion in wages. That does not mean that it's going to take $1.2 trillion in wages out of the economy. It could mean that some of it goes away, half of it goes away, and the other half of it goes up by a third or whatever. So there's a diminishment, but it's not for the people who keep their jobs. All right. Now, 58% of small businesses. They did a study. They asked small business operators how you feel about it, and overall they have optimism about it in general. 93% of small businesses expect to use AI in their business in the future. 58% use it right now. That's what he's talking about. That's where he got that number, the 58%. From the MIT study that says 58% of small businesses use AI. It doesn't mean they're firing their people. It doesn't mean that their jobs are going to be given away to foreigners or any of that shit. It's exactly where he got that number from. Just like, do I have to do everybody's fucking homework? Son of a bitch.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I don't know, Tuckums. Why would anybody go to a fucking truck stop after midnight and tell their wife they went for a walk and say they have no idea where they got the scratches on their back? It must have been a demon that attacked them.
Oh, hello there.
Why would you do that?
Oh, hello there.
All right. Again, because these are temporary jobs, you don't expect. It's like, why wouldn't, if you know people need jobs, why wouldn't you encourage people to go into fruit picking? Same thing. Because you are planning to automate those jobs out of existence.
You certainly wouldn't do that if you love that country. In fact, that's the last thing you would do.
Nah, it's probably the seventh.
If you were in charge of a country and you sincerely believe that 50% of white-collar jobs were going to disappear,
yeah, that's not what that says at all.
Or change in some unspecified way.
Well, I guess that's a big part of it, the change in some unspecified way. And largely that's because it depends on the job and the person.
Meaning begin to disappear. How many people would you import into your labor market? Well, zero. Not one. Not a single one.
Mm-hmm.
You would want a much tighter labor market because the value of labor is about to plummet.
Well, and also labor is already at a premium. We don't have anywhere near the workers we need right now.
And that means that millions of Americans will be left with not enough or nothing at all to do.
because they do all the busy work that Tucker Carlson enjoys watching them do and talking about them while they do it.
And that will be terrible for them because people without work are volatile, unhappy people. They're people without.
That's okay. So he who was born with a silver spoon up his ass is worried that the blue collar rabble will rise up and go after the people like him who never earned a dollar in their life and have been sitting on a pile of money since they were a fucking toddler.
A purpose. And that will mean disaster potentially for your country because unemployed people in large numbers are dangerous.
Right. That's what he's afraid of. Seriously. That's what he's afraid of. Because if you got a job right now and you work at a company or something like that, if that job goes away, you don't have any worth. You don't have a soul. You won't have an idea. If the price of things goes down because labor has gone nearly to zero, so that food and other stuff, the prices just continues to cadaver. It disinflates. If that happens and you could afford a life, then it's not like you're going to sit around in relative comfort and actually strive. You're obviously going to get some pitchforks and some torches and run up the hill to his house.
And that's why the last time this happened, the president of the United States at the time, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whatever his faults, manifold, decided to mobilize unemployed men in the Civilian Conservation Corps in the largest peacetime mobilization in world history. And you know who
Right, which is Trump would be doing or even talking about doing if he gave a shit, which he doesn't.
led that mobilization? General Douglas MacArthur, later famous for many other reasons in the Philippines and in Japan. He put a general in charge of putting America's unemployed men to work.
Right, and that's basically what we're looking at as this happens. Do you think he did it 2 years before the problem showed up?
Then in the course of that work, they basically rebuilt the national parks and built the GW Parkway through downtown DC and actually did a lot of pretty amazing work to the country's
Which, by the way, Republicans have been trying to undo ever since.
infrastructure, much of which still stands. So he both avoided domestic unrest, maybe even a revolution, and he improved the country in the process. It's not an endorsement of all of his policies. In some ways, a truly horrible president.
Yes, that whole Social Security thing.
Us into World War II for no obvious reason.
Whoa! Got us into World War II for no obvious reason. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just let that simmer.
Et cetera, et cetera. But in this one way, the Roosevelt administration took very
Thank you, Austin. You're right. It is the greatest series ever. You're welcome.
seriously the problem of having lots of unemployed people. What are our leaders doing about AI right now? Well, they're
You don't want them doing anything. They're too stupid.
trying to profit from it. Of course, they're trying to make a lot of money from it, their friends and family and themselves.
Right, but they're not going to.
Last big boom time before the casino shuts down.
Which, if Trump is running the casino, it's going to shut down.
That's the first thing they're doing. The second thing they're doing is scaring the crap out of the rest of us about the effects of it. Not even making any effort at all to sell it as a positive good for the average person. AI is coming. It's going to be difficult, but trust me, it's going to be awesome because here's why. There's almost none of that.
That's pretty much the only way Trump is able to talk about it. So
There's almost
yes, Lisa, Tucker does not believe that Pearl Harbor happened or that it wasn't staged in an effort by Jews to force us into World War II to attempt to break Western society by baiting us into giving a shit about Jews. I'm not kidding.
no effort to reassure you that the largest technological change in our lifetimes will be in any
From the ashes. I just do other stuff too.
way a win for you. In fact, they're telling you right to your face, it's going to be a disaster.
Also, who? What are you talking about?
What is that?
What is that? That thing that I see all the time that I never see. What is that? What is that? What are these numbers I quote that are exactly the opposite of what I say they mean? Who is that? Oh,
Why are they telling you that?
they're not.
To prepare you? How do you prepare for that? Your job goes away? What happens next? There's no hint. It's going to be tough. Yeah, you think? If this all comes true, it's going to be very, very tough. So why are they telling you? And
Because they want you to. join a resource war that Israel is making you join, and at the same time hate on Candace Owens.
In addition to telling you, they're also continuing to import people to compete for a rapidly shrinking number of jobs.
Right, again, temporary jobs. I'm over it. I don't know this. We're approaching the point of no return thing. He's all over the fucking map, and his description of how AI is being talked about is not reflective of anything you see, both in the media and in the government. I mean, Trump knows nothing about it. I mean, he's not only is he technologically illiterate, he's also gross, and so and self-congratulating in every turn. So he's going to go, it's amazing, we're way ahead, we're awesome in it, like no one's ever seen. He's just going to use language like that, but he has no idea how any of it works or why. He doesn't process this. He's not looking down the road. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. It's stuff that things only have value if he can aggrandize himself or enrich himself. Everything else can go to hell. And even his message is going to be great. It's going to be great.
Well, that's just a middle finger in your face.
Watch out.
That's a humiliation exercise.
Well, I mean, again, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. If that's your idea of a good time, be a sharp stick in the eye, I suppose.
That's the opposite of trying to comfort you. That's trying to stoke your anxiety. That's trying to make you feel worthless. That's revealing how they really feel about you. That's answering the central question.
Well, that's what you said, though. Like, he just said, all right, fuck this. He just sold that idea. He's like, you're going to lose your job. What are you going to do? You don't have any other talents. You don't have any other purpose in your life. If the cost of labor goes to basically zero, what are you going to do? Go camping? Live off the land? Ugh. All right. Megyn Kelly had the same panic today. So there must have been a fucking memo that went out. There had to be. I'll show you a piece of that real quick. But AI will require steadfast and serious thought. Where's this? There you go. And no one that is currently in the White House has the mental capacity to deal with any of it. We literally have the stupidest people we could possibly have in charge at a time like this. None of them are capable of processing how any of this shit works, what the upsides and the downsides are, any of it. Let me see if I can find this. Where's this Megan Bithnath? Where was she? When did I see you? No, that's the Trump is fucked one. There it is. Yeah, here you go. So okay. She's got one of these AI doomers, Tristan Harris, on her show. Same thing. I know this isn't full fried AI all day long, but this is all right. Yeah. So here we go.
If we can see what we're doing, we can say, are we doing the right thing or do we need to do something different? And I want to convince your listeners that for many different reasons, we're heading to an anti-human future. Let's say
for many different reasons, we are heading to an anti-human future. Big words, big assertion.
All this nuclear weapon.
The Center for Humane Technology, co-founder of that, which obviously their website was designed with the AI on Wix.
And rogue AI stuff off the table for now. Let's just put that completely aside. Let's just ask about the economic question. Now, we're hearing that AI is here to enhance the American worker, to support workers, to give you a blinking cursor for your job. It helps you vibe code and have agents and doing.
Not according to Tucker. Apparently, all we're hearing is you'll never have a job and you're fucked, and it's not here to help. It's just going to take over and just sit back and stick your thumb up your ass and fear the future.
All this work much faster. It's all here to help you. But what is the business model of these AI companies?
To put themselves out of business. For real. Like literally the edge computing version of their AI gets better every year along with the Premiere model, and they're going to reach a tipping point where you don't even need the highest model to run a Fortune 500 company from your fucking laptop. So once it reaches that point, what the fuck do you need them for? They're putting themselves out of business. They are. Do you know how many open source robot companies there are? Once a robot can make a robot, how many open source robots does it take to make more open source robots? And then, why do you fucking need Optimus? And if you want the software from Optimus, you can hack it or vibe code it. You don't even need it from them.
Like, in our work on social media, we were able to correctly predict what would happen with social media. It's not because we're prescient. It's because we follow the advice of Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's business partner. And the quote from Charlie Munger is, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome.
Right. But there's a difference between trying to bait people into using your product and replacing difficult, painful, repetitive, boorish work at first, and then eventually magically taking over everything because apparently humans can't be bothered.
So what was the incentive for social media? Was it strengthening kids' development psychologically and making sure you felt not lonely and connecting you to your friends? And no, the business model is maximizing screen time and engagement and eyeballs, which
also, for the record, all TikTok aside, which the algorithm is, again, a society disruptor and it's malware and you should get it off your phone, even if it's currently run by fucking Oracle, doesn't matter. Social media is not the internet. Social media was not a disruptor in people's relationships. And like, people don't get married anymore. They get married to people online they've never met. That would be the equivalent of what he's talking about with AI. AI is a tool. It is the next generation of UI with a computer. How you operate, the user interface with a computer. Nobody thinks fucking Tony Stark is lazy because he has Jarvis. It just does all the calculating work the same way that a calculator would have made Alan Turing's job immensely easier. That and not being in a homophobic country. That would have also helped, I think. Personally, I think it would have been a good thing. But,
means maximizing duration of use, frequency of use, which means hacking human psychology. We call it the race to the bottom of the brainstem. And that got us fear of missing out, mass loneliness, slot machine, pull to refresh, more likes. Did I get more likes now? Social validation and approval. Who's the, prettiest of them all? And you get...
I am. Thank you very much. It was settled. I don't know what to do. Look, I have my award and it's in the other room and I don't show it off, but I got the most likes one day and I was like, I'm the belle of the ball. And I finally liked myself. Yeah, we've all just given up on personal relationships and nobody has friendships anymore. We just kind of, we text and sit alone. Nobody go, all the bowling like alleys have shut. Nobody goes skiing anymore. Like, have you been to a sports stadium lately? All of them are empty. Nobody goes to a game with their friends.
All of those design choices. Like, we didn't have to have social media that was designed like that.
Well, again, social media is technically, and it's a broad term, is any media you share amongst your social circle. But any piece of software that's driven to make you show up for advertising will be designed to kind of trigger stuff in the same way that a newspaper, if it bleeds, it leads. Nightly news, a fire right out of the gate, a missing child, something awful, and then a cute story at the end if you bothered to stick around. It's no different. And there is a period of bait in where the public is naive to the effects of a particular type of media, and then they catch on after a while. And we have done that by and large. We're still in it. I think we're still coming out of it, but nobody takes fucking trolls seriously the way they did in 2015 or 2012. Get over your fucking self. The first time somebody went to see a silent film with a gunfight in it, the guy in the gunfight pointed his gun at the audience and fired it, and people in the audience had heart attacks. You know why? Because they were weak. No, because they weren't prepared emotionally, psychologically for that kind of media. They couldn't process it. Now, how many people have heart attacks when a character on screen points a gun at the camera? Fucking zero.
We got it that way because of these incentives. And that's how we were able to predict accurately 13 years before it all happened in 2013 that we would get a more addicted, distracted, polarized, narcissistic, sexualized society. And all of those things have come true. And there was just a lawsuit against Meta, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, for stuff they were doing years ago. It didn't double in that time.
And
also, even before TikTok rolled into town, there was a lot more balanced attention span in these things. Even though it was short form, people weren't insta chasing the way they did with TikTok. It was a level up because that algorithm is designed as a society disruptor, not to be financially viable.
$375 million for they knowingly harmed young kids, and they did not do something about it because they profited from young users joining the platform. I think the lifetime value of a young user, a young girl on Instagram, is something like $273, and they would prefer to take that $273 than to try to regulate their tech.
Well, again, the lifetime part is like they don't want to drive her to suicide, for example. One would think. Otherwise, how long of a lifetime are we talking about? The lifetime that she's still a teenager? Does she lose that at one point when she ages out of it?
Technology. Okay. So that's how we predicted social media. So now AI, how do we
also no parallels
predict what's going to happen? Because there's a lot of weaponized uncertainty. People say, who could predict which way this is going to go? There's, so many options, and we could get utopia and we could get peril. And how would we know? Well, look at the incentive.
Okay. How is the incentive for AI companies the same as the incentive for social media companies? Besides the fact that they want you to use the software, use it more often, but you have to have a reason to use it. Otherwise, it just becomes a social media app, which anybody can fucking make. Anybody could make an app right now, a large language model chatbot that you can talk to about how lonely and jobless you are. But if there's no job to help you with, what the fuck is it there for? And again, if they make all the jobs go away, why do I need to have a company as big as Meta to compete with them? If I don't need employees because they could fire all theirs, then shit, I could start a company digitally using agents that competes with Meta in a matter of months. You see how fucking dumb this is?
So what is the incentive of ChatGPT? Okay, so people scratch their chin and they're like, okay, so I pay ChatGPT $20 a month. Maybe their incentive is just getting everybody paying $20 a month for a subscription. But that wouldn't make back the amount of money that they've taken on in as investment, right? What about search revenue? Like Google. Google's a very profitable search company. Let's do search advertising. That also wouldn't make back the amount of money.
Right, but neither would putting everybody out of business so they can't have $20 subscribers. Sorry, all the people who know how to use it and become AI literate are going to have a job, and then they're going to use it so much that it's going to put them out of a job, and then who pays the $20 that they were paying to use it?
These companies have taken on. The only thing that provides the return for this level of investment, which this year alone is hundreds of billions of dollars, is to be able to replace all economic labor in the economy.
Or double it, because you still need a customer base. So doubling the amount of productivity would also be a way to do this. And you would still have the buy-in from the company. Again, most people don't want a little upstart like me to be able to compete with their giant billion-dollar company. So they're going to have real human beings operating in a lot of these places, meeting together, forming opinions, developing products and stuff like that, instead of winding up a bunch of fucking agents and living on a fucking boat, driving their magic company. Like Meta now has 3 employees and it's on autopilot. What a bunch of shit.
I want to repeat that. Their only incentive is to replace, not to augment and support American workers or, workers around the world, but to replace all jobs, to be able to do what a marketing analyst does, what a lawyer does, what a financial analyst does, what a consultant does, what an illustrator does, what a movie producer does.
Yeah, except without judgment and without the why.
You get the picture.
No. Oh, again, if we just let anybody use Photoshop, what are the photo editors going to do? Real photographers get really expensive lenses and they put their stuff together, and now everybody's got a lens on their phone. What the fuck is going to happen to the photography industry? Nobody's going to, like museums that have photographs in them, people are going to go, what the fuck do I care? I've got billions of photographs on my phone. It's...
want to be able to do everything that a human mind can do.
Right, so that they can co-pilot what anybody's doing and comprehend it, not replace it. I get it at some point, but holy shit.
including physical labor, which includes robots, because that is the $60.
Let me just put this in. I'm going to go to the documentary for 1 second.
By the way, I know. A bunch of you are like, when do I get my robot Megyn Kelly? Shame on you. Shame on you. Also soon, probably 6 years.
And then you pick it up in the back, as I do want to talk about the robots. That's another whole concern.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
SOT 51 from the documentary, the AI doc.
At least I will say in the AI documentary, the AI documentary. By the way, I would like to point out, this is what she's having on as content. Instead of talking about prices, Epstein, the Iran war. Yeah.
When you can simulate a human mind that is doing.
And again, a simulation of a human mind is not a human mind.
Human cognition and can do reasoning. That is a new sort of tier of AI that we have to distinguish from previous AI.
Right, which is basically a chatbot or, autofill on steroids. Yeah, we know. That does not mean their reasoning will be in line or aligned with human wants, and therefore human in the loop.
When that happens, by the way, that's when you would hire one of those AGIs instead of
Why? What's your company?
person.
You would, because you don't like people.
Most jobs in our economy, it can do.
It can work 24 hours a day, never gets tired, never gets bored.
They don't need to sleep. They don't need breaks. They're like not going to join a union.
Won't complain, won't whistle blow.
You can't sexually harass them. Yeah, there's no, they don't refill the coffee pot. There's, they will never microwave fish in the company microwave. They also can't let you know that your time needs fixing before you go to a meeting.
More than 100 times cheaper than humans working at minimum wage.
Not only will they be doing everything, but they'll be doing it faster.
The same.
Well, that's the other thing too, is doing what faster? Do you need somebody to decide what they should be doing in the first place? Right.
Intelligence that powers that can also look at the patterns and movements and articulating muscles.
These are really awful robot costumes.
Robotics. And
also AI slop pictures. I would just say use better
so
shit.
It's not just going
to... For the record, this asshole in his AI documentary is using AI B-roll.
Automate desk jobs. That's just the beginning. It will automate all physical labor.
There's no way humans are going to compete with them.
Maybe we're not going to compete with them. Yeah, why would robots use computers? Stop it, Water Goddess. You're asking too many questions. By the way, these are all like AI renders of other shit so that because they can't use the proprietary stuff of the figure threes and all that stuff that I showed you.
That is really scary. And
it's so scary.
But it makes perfect sense. Like, no maternity leave.
That's right.
No vacations required. No workers' comp,
Yes, because of all the women who can't wait to work carrying large boxes in factories.
Somebody gets injured. Like, nothing is it's quote unquote so much better.
Wait. What was that? What was that last part, Megan? And then we'll press on. What was that? What happens what's the last part?
Workers' comp, somebody gets injured.
Right. No workman's comp when somebody gets injured. Right, because a person doesn't get injured doing a dangerous job. Yeah, right, Ali Osher. MAGA videos. Nothing but fear and scary, and the future will kill you. And stay away from it while we quietly build our own skills using it and even put it in our own fucking documentary while telling you that it's coming for you. We're going to use it. You think these assholes fucking shot their own goddamn B-roll of that? You think they hired a worker who works in CGI to go into Blender and make them a bunch of fucking robots? Get the fuck out of here.
Nothing is it's quote unquote so much better for the employers.
That's right. Yeah, who are you going to hire? A complicated employee who has mental health issues or,
Thank God they don't look down on all of us.
Talks to people.
Can you see Texas up there on your high horse?
Work in ways or, complains, or you're going to hire an AI that never complains, works at superhuman speed, doesn't sleep, doesn't take vacation. So it's very obvious.
Okay, Good question. Superhuman speed. Now, for the Lab Rats fans in the audience, a little thing about superhuman speed. As the de facto science consultant on Lab Rats while we were doing the show, I made the point that Bree, who has super speed on the show, played by Kelly Berglund, who is just wonderful on all measures. She has super speed. She can run really fast. The problem with speed and being able to run really fast is that people can't get out of your way really fast. And most stories, if you told them truthfully about a character like the Flash or something, none of them would arrive where they were going if it was longer than a block and a half without being covered in blood and sinew, because you would run right through someone at your high speed. So I made the point that Bree was actually a dimensional shifter, that she could step outside of our space-time, move through it. She just ran a kind of normal speed for her, but by doing that, she crossed space-time faster. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and that's why she didn't end up killing a bunch of people. And that even the Flash, when it looks like he's running in slow motion, it's because he's going through a parallel universe during that part of it. Because if a machine operates too fast, blindly with a specific goal, it will harm people. It's why the robots in factories are either in confined areas where no humans go while they're on, or they move pretty slowly. And again, why most of the robots that people are interacting with, even in like Amazon warehouses, operated at a lower speed because of the liability if somebody were just able to walk in the wrong door and get their fucking head caved in. So in this particular instance, this idea that these software things will operate at super speed, there's a reason why the users themselves don't want them to do that. And if they're just cranking out fucking, here's 3,000 posts you can do over the next 4 years, I hope your business doesn't change. It's just stupid. It's aggravating how lazy this is mentally. All right. Now, I know I got stuck and it's Friday night and I got to wrap up. I know. I got caught in this shit again, mainly because of Trump, rambling about. But I do want to check one thing before we go, which is, no, not that. I want to see what this Hodge twins thing was about. So there was a security fail. We already have Greg Kelly, who, they barely let talk. But he did a video about how, here, I'll show you. Greg Kelly did one of these videos about like behind the scenes, what really happened, new evidence discovered in this shooting positive. Okay. Greg Kelly by himself, I'm sure, exposes new evidence of security flaws at correspondence dinner shooting. Okay. Exposes new evidence of security flaws. So it's new to him. It's obviously not new to the people who recognize that it was a security flaw, I suppose, because the video is there or whatever. But we'll see Greg pick this apart. It won't be long because they never, this is one of his longer ones. But there you go. Grotesque failure. I knew it. Assassination attempt comes into focus.
This thing was totally screwed up. The Saturday night shooting, President Trump
which, by the way, we're not even sure that he fired a shot.
Conceivably could have lost his life that.
Yeah, but a bunch of other people were more likely to die than he was because he was in the entire situation the furthest from the shooter.
At night, security was abysmal, and it's getting worse. The picture.
It is? Well, then why did Trump go down to the villages?
Sure. I'm sorry, folks. This is inexplicable.
It's explicable.
First, I just couldn't stand to see our president on the ground again.
Well, he fell down. I mean, that wasn't the goal. By the way, there's no way they said, get down. Oh, wait, get up. Like he fell. They helped him back to his feet. That's exactly what happened. There's no one was going, sir, get down, get down. Oh, no, wait, get up. I was wrong.
Again. How many more times are we going to let this agency fail in front of billions of witnesses?
Well, I got to say, they technically did not. My mom is texting me. They didn't fail. They got the guy. He never got in the room.
I'll tell you, there's something.
I mean, the advanced team might need to have a talking to, but the guys on the scene actually, and the women on the scene actually did something.
Really, really weird. Now, let's start with this. Shortly after that night, right, we received, I think it was later that night, we received this footage. This footage was put out.
Yes, by Trump and the FBI.
You'll notice it's grainy and it's black and white. And
right, because they're filming a screen because they rushed to get it out.
People were wondering, like, okay, what's up with the 1980s surveillance video?
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't expect competence from this White House or from Cash
Right?
Patel.
Why isn't it in color? What's the resolution?
Because A, that's a hotel. Hold on a second. Like, how many times can I not? Thank you. Thank you. Right.
What's going on here?
It's clearly someone filming a monitor in an office.
Well, it turns out there was much better resolution, and it wasn't courtesy of AI. They had better security cameras, that were invented in the last 10 years or so. Now,
right, but that's the direct feed from it, not someone filming the screen on a monitor.
Watch. All right. Now that's the clean.
Yes, we learned so much more.
Color version. And we'll break that down, but we have some other things to go through. New evidence released by Jeanine Pirro, U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. tonight.
Wow, and I'm sure, let me guess, the guy bitched about Secret Service, said it would be easy, and then his big, brilliant plan was wait till they're breaking down the magnetometers, which wouldn't have mattered because it wasn't like he was going to let them search him anyways, and just ran through.
Now, the hotel. All right. Number one, this is the Hilton Hotel.
Fabulous.
It has something like 1,000 rooms. The whole idea of having the president, the vice president, and his cabinet in this kind of facility, in a room like this, with 2,500 people.
Right, which you could see from this image, a single person with a shotgun bum rushing the place. The chance of them actually hitting the president, was 1 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right.
It's just, and you throw in what happened to Ronald.
As dumb as this shooter was, he probably would have fired on the television screen.
Reagan in 1981. We shouldn't be doing this. And yes, we do.
Yeah, but he wasn't inside. He was coming out.
Need a ball.
And they also don't bring him in that way. They drive him in underground and bring him in and then drive him out underground.
Ballroom on the.
He didn't just walk out the front door.
White House property is part of the White House. Now, the shooter himself, I don't like saying his name, very strange guy, but his.
Is that his nickname?
Movements the night before and the night.
Yes, he went to a CVS. He clearly logged into the Wi-Fi.
Of.
Probably bought one of those movies they sell. It's more expensive than the other movies, but the title doesn't show up. The regular movies, the title shows up. Why do they hide the title of the more expensive movies? Because they don't want people to think you're flexing how much money you have.
Were also strange, and also he was not encumbered. He wasn't stopped. He said security was a joke in his little manifesto. I don't think he was wrong. This is.
Well, again, if security was a joke, then why did he have to resort to bum rushing a floor above the actual ballroom?
The night before the president and the vice president are going to be in that hotel. Here he is, walking around like he owns the place.
With a bunch of locked doors that he doesn't have keys to. Presumably.
That's him.
Yes. Why didn't they stop a man in dungarees walking around a fine hotel like the Hilton? Who wouldn't have been able to spot that this guy was up to no good walking around like a guest who had a room?
It's 9 o'clock at night, by the way.
Nobody walks around a hotel at 9 o'clock at night unless Greg Kelly has paid them to come to his room.
Friday. Sound like it's 2 a.m, and he's the only one there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine it's a big vacation spot.
Isn't that kind of weird? Just.
No, not really.
Something odd.
Not odd at all. A person walking in a hallway. So unodd that you can see why no one gave a shit.
And then he goes to the gym. I mean, on a Friday night, most people don't go to the gym, but he
I beg your pardon.
scopes it out.
Excuse me, I'm going to the gym tonight, asshole. That's what you do when you go there. It's like, does this gym got good shit, or is it just going to be like 3 exer bikes and some sweaty dude in the corner? Oh, it's good. They got weights. Never over 50 pounds for the dumbbells. I know it's an insurance thing. Yeah, he's not carrying a gun. He doesn't have a long rifle. He's wearing dress shoes. What are you supposed? Like, there's a lady there. I'm like, why didn't somebody tackle this guy for walking while black? Right.
I'm wondering what he's thinking and what he's doing. Is he thinking?
He's thinking, I didn't know this lady was in here because I'm not very smart. Even though I'm book smart, I'm kind of a dipshit. And so I came here to look around, and then I heard her speak, and then I was like, oh, hey, yeah, no, I'm just looking at stuff.
Maybe I could put an explosive here.
Yeah, that's exactly. The explosive he didn't have. Next time, note to self.
You know, if you set off a bomb above the ballroom, you could possibly kill 1,000 people.
And not the president. Also, how big a fucking bomb do you think this dude... You don't think the dogs would notice?
Right. So I think we have another slow walk, all right, if you don't mind. Yeah?
I do mind. Let me guess. He walked one way and then he went back. Incredible.
Again?
How do you not know this guy is a threat? Look at him.
Just like he's the only one.
He is the only one. He's by himself in that hallway. Because nobody's going to the gym at night. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I got no plans till tomorrow. Wink, wink.
That's 9 o'clock the night before the big celebration, the big banquet for the president. All right.
Amazing.
I have another slow walk video. This is
very exciting. Hang on, everybody. This is fucking riveting.
This is the night of. This is about 20 minutes before he goes in there shooting.
Right.
It's 9:23 at night.
You think he's got the gun in the coat? I think so.
President is in that building, and he's just
right. Where's this hallway? Where is it?
Just walking around.
Just walking around. Where?
Again, not inspected, not stopped.
No one's there to stop or inspect anybody. And also, there is no one to shoot.
There's nobody to stop him.
There's nobody for him to attack or pull a gun on.
That's weird.
No, it's not. There's nobody in that hallway. What's your point?
It's really strange.
No, where's that hallway? That kind of matters.
Now, we're going to use a new clip of video that we zoomed in on, right?
Like the Epstein footage that shows clear as day, like Bongholio said, that he hung himself. It's right there. It's on tape. You can see the little orange line happen. It's proof positive.
He actually shows himself right near the checkpoint, and then there's a little dog, a Secret Service dog that notices him. Watch this. There's the dog. There's the Secret Service man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like they're just taking this thing down. That's just before he ran through.
Words are exchanged, but off he goes. And then he...
Yeah, brilliant plan. Hey, wait a second. Hold it there, partner.
Runs through, and he starts shooting. I didn't know that part of it, did you?
No. Did it matter?
That a Secret Service man came face to face with him? All right. Now, we'll come back to that. Let's look at the whole piece of footage where he rushed.
Also, I'm not sure that was a Secret Service guy. It might have been ATF or FBI or, one of the local advanced teams.
Is the checkpoint.
That is the checkpoint. That's the act. Greg, that's the checkpoint.
Any second now. Here we go.
Thank you. Yes, right. That's what I said. The guy was just disassembling them.
Notice they just took down the...
Yes, we could see it in the other shot, shithead. Yes, and we've seen this, yeah.
Like I said the other night, they took down the
I'm just saying, just because a video game is an 8-bit doesn't mean it's less exciting. It matters about, how committed you are to the game itself. Higher graphics do not necessarily make something more exciting or interesting. All right.
The checkpoint, they were in the process of taking it down. You got a lot of people with guns out.
Really? Where do you see that?
Now, again, the suspect wasn't shot. Now, Janine Pirro and the FBI, they released another version of this that slowed about 35% to 35% speed. And you can see him taking down the checkpoint.
Which makes it seem like they had lots of opportunities to shoot him. He was just, when he's walking, basically, he just sauntered right through at 35% regular
It's about
speed.
to come out through that door and rush the checkpoint that is basically non-existent.
Well, also, it wouldn't have mattered. He wasn't going to wait to be frisked. He didn't wait for the bell to go off.
And they stop it every time a round goes off. So watch, please. Drop the banner if you don't mind.
Dun, dun. I do mind. Okay, here we go. Guy running with a gun.
They say he fires a round right there. Secret Service fires one shot.
And we're very lucky that this guy didn't get killed. That guy right there. That's some pucker factor for you.
2 shot. 3 shot.
Gee, I wonder who hit this guy.
4 shot. At least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of which came from the shooter.
Now watch in the aftermath. Just keep this up. So it's very interesting.
It is. It's interesting how some of the people that were there started shooting, didn't hit him, and then some people who were outside came in the door. Did you see that? The door was opened, and they came in.
Because I saw that officer shooting multiple rounds. There's no indication that officer was shot, right? I mean, everybody seems fine. Nobody fell down. And this is the Secret Service director just a few hours ago.
Huh. Definitely a plot.
And this is the version he tells of what we just saw.
I don't think it's going to add up. He's the male Erica Kirk, I guess. This is how they're going. By the way, I'd like to point out that this is Newsmax, and he's a true blue Trump maggot who's attacking the Secret Service. But back to blue, will you?
There are a lot of critics out there. Quite frankly, some of them are our former agents that
Bongholio?
When they did the job, they weren't in the game. If you want to know stuff about the Secret Service, please ask me. I've actually done the job. But I will tell you, that officer, while being shot, was in the process of falling down and was returning gunfire. To be shot at is not a pleasant thing. And to be able to actually return fire at that rate of speed is just remarkable.
Also, I thought that was a shotgun that supposedly had buckshot in it. There's no way that the buckshot spread at that direction is just hitting his vest.
Okay, it just doesn't kind of correspond with what I just saw. That officer is not in the process of falling down, right? I really don't see that. Now let's watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
See how they're taking down that checkpoint early? The night isn't even over, and they're wrapping up. Okay, here he comes. Good on this.
Because it's a floor above, so they wind him down through other places. Again, this was not right outside the ballroom. This gives the illusion that, by the way, that the ballroom is right here on the same floor. It is not.
This guy for pulling his gun, engaging right away.
Missing, by the way.
Engaging and missing, but still.
Missed again.
I just don't see that person as in the process.
There's the only muzzle flash we see.
Of falling down.
I think we're talking about on the third shot, it actually hit this guy in the abdomen who was wearing a vest but was okay, and then he pulled.
I don't see anybody running to an officer who's down. Do you?
Well, even in this particular case, I think the guy would fall back this way or disappear off camera. He might have been down right here in this area over here.
There are a lot of things going on here, still processing it.
Thanks for that report. Way to be on top of it, shit stain. I hate Greg Kelly. What a moron. Okay, now one last thing that we don't get to see the Hodge twins very often on here, who turned themselves into the conservative twins when they decided to support Donald Trump. And then as soon as they did, their channel went from them talking about drugs and mushroom tips and all that kind of stuff, and became all about having a good show and supporting Donald Trump. And all of a sudden they started selling F-150s. They are giving them away for free. Interesting. It's almost like there's more money in the Trump campaign than what they were doing before.
So they released a bunch of video leading up to the attempted assassination of Trump.
Yes, riveting. We've seen it on Greg Kelly's show. You guys are so 5 minutes ago.
A lot of people saying it's a hoax, and it makes you ask the question: how does he get so close? Well,
he wasn't.
He didn't really get close, but how does he get in there with a rifle?
Well, again, because it broke down or fit in his suitcase, that they didn't have magnetometers for people who checked in days before. They didn't scan people's rooms or go through their bags in the hotel, which I don't think they have the right or the ability to do without probable cause anyways.
Think about it. It's in a hotel. Yeah.
Right. That's a thing. Yeah, sure.
But this video shows a lot, and I still don't know how this happened. Yeah.
Well, I'm fairly certain he put one foot in front of the other repeatedly while wearing jeans.
Here he is walking
to the gym, we think. He's talking to somebody. So somebody did ask him what's up. He stands, there's his knee. He's just off camera. Somebody did talk to him. There's like a station then apparently right here, security-wise. What do you go? Like ask if the gym was open? And they said, yeah, you can use your gym card. And then
So I guess that's the night before.
You don't have to guess. The fucking date is on the screen.
He's checking out the gym, which is weird. But, I mean, if you're planning to do something crazy the day before, got to get a good workout in. I think he's scoping out the place to see where he can hide or hide certain items to get the job done. That's what I think. Yeah.
Or brilliant. Or he could have been trying to walk past one of the doors to see if he could get through one of the doors that leads down to the ballroom, but there was actually a guard there. So his ruse was to go look at the gym because it was that direction. Or he was actually going to use the gym in jeans at a hotel, which I have done before, I have to admit.
There's a woman sitting right here.
Yes. Yes, there is. Can I sign up for one of the yoga classes in the morning? Uh-huh. Thank you, because we don't want to have to sit through this. Demi walked around. Let's see. Is this equipment good enough for me? Great. This is riveting, guys. Yeah, you're on
I think
top
he's just
of
scoping out the place. Yeah.
it. Yeah, or pretending to look like he's looking at the gym. It's a ruse. It is a nice gym, though, Moon Girl. I'd be like, oh, if I was at a hotel and that was a gym, other than the fact that there was an assassin in it, I would like that gym very much. I mean, I have a, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm traveling, I have a no assassins rule. If I find out there's an assassin staying in the hotel, I get a refund straight to an Airbnb. Yeah. I don't think he's coming back, Gary. Yeah.
So I guess he's walking back to his room?
Oh, or that's what he wants you to think. Unless he's staying in the gym? Riveting, guys. Yeah.
The dude walk like a damn
It's, you know what I like about this channel? It's the commentary.
gigolo.
That guy is walking like a gigolo. Well, it's a great way to blend in. You know, if you're in a hotel, you don't want to lumber around like an assassin. You're like, that guy can't be a killer. He looks like that guy's a lover, not a fighter. Approximately 3 minutes later. That's the that's the guy he talked to from before. Here he comes back. We're checking. Yeah, this guy walks through, closes the door behind him, and see if he checks to find out if that door is shut. Oh, this would be my one chance to get. Never mind. If he'd only been there a couple seconds earlier, he would have figured out that that door is not locked, and he could have used it for his plan. Foiled again by the bloody clock. Hey, sorry, I came back in here. I left my ego in the gym. He's checking the other door past. Oh, he went out the door past the gym. One evening later. And let me guess, he comes out of that door, which is he now knows is open, and walks past the gym where the lady is not working.
It's him walking in. I think this is the next day. He's got a jacket on. Yeah, a trench coat or whatever.
Yeah, because he took the stairs down from the room down through that part of the hotel. So he definitely tracked a place
next day is Saturday.
where he could end up still having to go through the magnetometers.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We don't have you guys don't have any like music you can play during this? We're like like that, you know, something scary.
So he must have that rifle in that jacket.
Yep.
Why is this the only video they released?
Well, because obviously there's a deep state plan that Donald Trump approved to make sure that you have as little information as possible, just enough to make you suspicious.
There'll be cameras all over this hotel. Yeah, but I'm thinking there he is right here. There he is right there. And this dog right here is already on him. Right. He could. It's weird because he's looking at him. He walks away. Yeah.
And then zoom, here he comes.
Not really. He comes run out with a rifle.
Really? Where'd you see that? This is the kind of commentary you can't find anywhere else. You like and subscribe to the Hodge twins, formerly known as the Hodge twins. This is I mean, my God. Is it normal when someone else is doing commentary on a video where you can actually hear your own heartbeat? That's a lot of handguns. Okay, and this is the stuff that Janine Pirro put out, and okay, skip past this. Yeah, we saw this part.
Survived this.
Hold on. I think we've got sound from it, if I'm not mistaken. Where would this be? Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, he's going to get off a couple rounds. Watch. See, yeah. Got off the shot. Look where it's going.
Yeah.
Look at them. Lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was there's the real footage. We can rebuild him, even though he wasn't broken.
And that was it.
Fascinating. Thanks, guys. We learned so much. And like I said, just enough footage to make idiots paranoid. Hey, Hodge twins, you know how you keep an idiot in suspense? I'll tell you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, You've been great. I'm still Hal Sparks. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. We got radio in the morning. Otherwise, I'd be here all night. And there is no way Trump digs himself out of the paranoia matrix that he's settled into. Look at. I didn't even get to include this one in the thumbnail. Look at Will Kane's thumbnail on this. If you cultivate paranoia, you can't shut it off. It's going to stick with you. Like, these assholes think everything's the fucking Zapruder film, and they now think Trump is a part of the deep state, whether they want to or not. You're not late, Bingo. You showed up just in time for me to finish. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks from tonight, I will be in Cleveland with Nerd Halen. And 2 weeks from tomorrow, I will be in Chicago with Nerd Halen. And 2 weeks from last night, I'll be in Pittsburgh with Nerd Halen. So if you're anywhere near those places, come down and see us. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Because if I play anything in their AI panic attacks along with this, again, I will pop a stitch. And on that note, let's see. Yeah, let's use this one. Because the end is not quite nigh, but it's nigh nearby. Something like that. Thanks to the maggots for showing up. You did us a big favor tonight with the algorithm. Hit that like, share the show, give a thumbs up, give a thumbs down if you didn't like the show, by God. And thank you for the super chats, you guys. Oh my God, Seven Dust, thank you. Jenny Christie, Ralphus, Catherine, Angela, Surrender Monkey, thank you. Nina, Bonnie, thank you. Anthony, Edward Cooley, thank you. Paul Thanos, thank you. And Kathleen, thank you so much. Happy May Day, happy Friday. See you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.
Scroll in hand, 7 seals, every word cuts and heals. Like drums, sword raised high, kingdoms come, peace unstitched.
Thank you guys so much.
Thunder at my door. Wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar is another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars. Hey, echo from the prophets and seers. When the Lamb breaks the seal, all the old world shakes with our fears. Black horse ways, bread and bone, steel stilled hard, iron stone. Measure grain by a dying sun, silver short for everyone. Pale horse waits, eyes like ash. Graves awake, tombs unlatch, Hades hangs on a trailing chain. Every pulse spells your name. Wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar's another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars. Oh, echo from the prophets and seers. When the Lamb breaks the seal, all the old world shakes with our fear.
Yeah, we're gonna raid Tara. I think I'm on her show next Tuesday. Is that right?
Seal opens. How long? Blood at the altar.
Right on. Tara Devlin is next, and Bob Seska's on there. Cool.